When refined brawn meet tech, you get the new Range Rover Velar. Land Rovers are known for rugged vehicles that can get you through a river or over a mountain terrain. But these boxy SUVs are also known for refined luxury. The $50,000 Velar, it continues that tradition, but with a bit more tech than your average Land Rover or a Range Rover. It's more of a car for maybe not an outdoorsy stockbroker, but a CTO who likes to go surfing. The dash and the controls of the Velar are what happens when a company makes a concept car and decides, you know what, why mess with a good thing? In the center console is Range Rover's new Touch Pro Duo infotainment system. Now, it displays controls for the vehicle over 2 displays, which is nice when you want to adjust your navigation or be able to see where you're going without losing access to your climate control or skipping tracks. It creates an interesting use case for these 2 knobs, which can be used to adjust your driving mode, adjust your climate control, or if you push them, you can turn on the heated or cooled seats. The multi-use parade doesn't stop there. On the steering wheel, these controls actually change depending on what you're doing. This button right here on the left, right now I can adjust tracks, I can turn my music up and down, but tap on menu, this button changes and allows me to navigate the features in the dash cluster. So I can do things like change the display layout from dual display to driver assistance view, which puts you in sort of weird landscape. The tech even continues outside with flush door handles that pop out when you unlock the doors. The Velar's ride is a bit sportier than your average Land Rover. That means you're not going to get as much lean when you're going into turns. That also means that the ride is a little bit rougher. Now, it's not too bad because once you put it into comfort mode, you get pretty much the same sort of luxury as you come to expect from Land Rover. For us, the luxury takes the form in the R-Dynamic version of this vehicle. Starting at $60,000, it's powered by a 380 horsepower 3-liter V6 engine with 332 foot-pounds of torque. And the design, it looks like a Land Rover that's about to jump into warp drive. And it's quick. Well, quick for a car this big. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds according to Land Rover, which is great, but it's a Land Rover and you don't go flying around corners in a car like this. You don't race other cars with it. You just cruise. And whenever I stomp on the accelerator in these things, it just feels like I'm being rude. Even if you're not trying to impress your friends with raw speed, the Velar has enough room for 4 full-grown adults and their skiing equipment. But with a lot of cars, when you try to cram this much tech into a Range Rover, you're bound to hit a few snags. These 2 displays and these knobs can be a bit confusing though. For example, a few times I thought I was going to be adjusting the climate of the car, when in reality I was changing the drive mode. And because it's touchscreen, you find yourself looking away from the road at the displays in order to make sure you're on the right settings to make adjustments. And a lot of this could be alleviated if there were just a few actual physical buttons. Also, it doesn't support Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now, it does have these in-control apps that you can use with a downloadable companion app. You can access your contacts, your calendar, your music, and your Spotify. But if it's going after a younger or techier crowd, it does seem like a confusing decision. The driver assistance features for the Velar are nice, but it's not quite up to par with offerings from BMW or Audi. The adaptive cruise control works great. It does have this weird feature that I actually enjoy. When you are stuck in stop and go traffic, it'll, instead of stopping directly behind the car in front of you, it'll stop a little bit back and then it'll slowly creep up on that car, which is great because once this car comes to a stop, you have to tap the accelerator in order for adaptive cruise control to kick back in. Lane keep assist, well, it's really an assist. It doesn't track the lane, it doesn't keep you in the middle of the lane like other systems. Instead, as you get close to the edge of your lane, it'll nudge you back over. Or you can set it to just make a crazy audible noise, which sounds like the entire car's rattling, such as this. It feels like we're hitting ruts, and we're not. Even with its lack of native support for my phone and an infotainment system that's a bit too smart for itself, the Velar is a Range Rover that's capable of taking you to the beach, in the town, and over a snow-covered mountain. It's Land Rover's daring leap into the future without losing some of its heritage.